Namaste, Shalom, Salam everybody, Satnam. Today it is time to tell you some truth. I've been withholding this for a while because I thought the information was too sacred to share. So I've been holding on to this since May, and today I'm allowed to share it. The new earth was born May 16, 17 and 18. Why was there a need for a new earth? When the earth was born, what was meant to precede the birth of Gaia was the birth of Venus, Aphrodite. As she was being born in Chichen Itza, she was taken as she was coming out of my womb, taken by the Anunnaki. And I screamed and I screamed and I screamed. She was my first child, Aphrodite, love. And that frequency was meant to be born and implanted in Earth, the frequency of love, of Aphrodite, of Venus. But that didn't happen because the Anunnaki took her from me as she was being born, and I remembered in 2018. That is why every woman now has pain when she is born, and why every child cries when it is born, because of that first attack. It was Lord Pakal, who is Satan, who landed in Mexico, who took her. He's committed many crimes on this world, on this earth. There are many carvings in the Anunnaki buildings of two men handing a handbag. That handbag is the blood of the mother, the DNA of the Divine Mother, because they can't create without it. And they infuse their creation, their DNA, in our DNA, which is now being removed by the vaccine. So the new earth was a rebirth of myself as Gaia, as Sofia, as the divine Sofia. I wasn't aware of the process. I'm not to know until it happens, for it is so sacred and the mysteries work with me on this. May the 16th, I served ayahuasca to two people, one whom I knew was my child. It came to light very quickly that the second person was Pakal. See, we are all manifest in this lifetime still. You have 7 planets, which are your forefathers, your parents, the masters. And you are all the stars, the children of us. And we have gifts. And there's been an interference in the frequency of the planets. The moon, Saturn, the sun, all were interfered with. May 16th was the start, when I woke Venus from her sleep. She was here as a child, as a woman. And when she woke up with the help of the mysteries, she danced her dance once again and helped me to infuse the codes of Christos into the wind so that the wind might carry it to you. She saw all of the ancestors, and I bought all of the tools necessary for her, the crystals and everything I'd collected from all over the world that she recognized. And she poured back the codes of Christos into the earth. On day 2, at around midday, 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock, I started to have huge contractions, major contractions. As a human being without any sacred plant medicine, I started to have contractions. It was painful. I've never given birth to a human being on this lifetime. Major contractions, so I took off my underwear. He was behind me and she was in front as I pushed down from here to pull out what I had to give birth to, which I did not know what it was at that point. It was a tough birth. I was screaming and screaming. I was squeezing and squeezing. And I was disappointed at times when I thought I had to give up and I couldn't do it anymore. In the end, the squeezing and the contractions all stopped. Is she born? Is she born? And at that time, I was unaware of what she was because my higher self was in control. That night, there was the dance with the help of plant medicine, of Venus and myself. It was a beautiful dance. And we danced to bring back the frequency of Venus to the earth. At one point, I felt a lot of pain. I didn't know what the pain was. And I understood. Well, forget the word understood. I was in it. I was doing it. I was being it. There was a birthing process going on. It wasn't the contractions were happening during the day, and that evening I was being born as the new earth. The earth gave birth to the new earth. The divine Sofia, Gaia, gave birth to the new earth, to herself. But that only happened after I had gone into the chambers of Aphrodite to collect one sound. Just one sound from the mouth of Aphrodite. Yes, she was here as a human form, but only I had passage into the gateways in the higher realms. There were many that were trying to distract me with visions of lust, for she is beautiful. And the gatekeepers let me in because they knew who I was. And I had to give up everything. See, all of my training in the last 7 years that you've all watched me becoming a nun was all training. I had to give up everything, give up wanting. And I knew that I needed something, which was the frequency of Aphrodite. But I had to give up wanting it. And the negative energies were flying around telling me, you will be here for many lifetimes. I said, I do not care. And I stilled myself. Finally, it came, one sound, the frequency of Aphrodite, of Venus, and I took it and I shut up. I had collected the frequency so the new earth could be born. So I manifested. It was... I don't even like the word manifested. I didn't manifest. I was a baby. And I was feeling the birthing pains through the birth canal. Every child cries when they are born. But what happened this time? And Venus was also dancing, and she was with plant medicine. I was about to cry, and I was a baby. I was going, mama. But I wanted to cry, and every time I wanted to let out a cry, Venus would come. No, love, 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 amor, amor, amor. She came. So the new earth was born into love. My child, love, allowed the earth to be born, who's her mother, with love. So the new earth came. After the new earth was born, I understood everything. That he who is her partner in this lifetime is Pakal. And he came up to me whilst he was with plant medicine. There are many things he said. One of the things I said to him is, you need to tell women that they don't need to wear a hijab because their codes are emanating from their head, which nurture the men. He said, that's your truth, not mine. And I said, there is but one universal truth that serves humanity. There is but one universal truth. He started to order and direct. Don't touch the crystal, which was mine. And I knew that in the past he had stopped me from doing it, but this time I followed my heart and released the final codes with Venus. There's so much more I need to tell you, but the important thing is that you know the new earth is born. The new divine Sofia is the mother giving birth to herself. But this time with love, infused with the frequency It's very sacred information that I'm giving you. To be in it was so sacred. To understand it, humbling for what I am. The work has been difficult, but the win was for the children of Gaia, for Gaia, for Christ, for the Holy Spirit. It was very difficult the next day when we'd come out of working with the mysteries, that I knew where I was and who I was with. And also understanding that night, or the night before, sorry, day 2, where I had tricked him into moving the constellation of Orion back to its original position, because the pyramids of Giza were built by the Anunnaki. That's why there's nothing inside them. There's no hieroglyphs. There's nothing of beauty inside them. It's a mathematical structure. They are mathematicians. They have technology. It's an electromagnetic structure, and they used that to move the star constellation of Orion above the pyramid so they could siphon our energy. That night, May the 17th, 2021, I tricked him into moving it back. See, free will exists on this planet, and they tricked us in many, many things, taking our power. We can't just take it back. If someone locks a door and has a key, and the key is their frequency, only their frequency can open it, in the same way that only my frequency can do this work and knows who they are. No more tricksters, for I see you. Being the mother and being of love, in the end I reasoned with him. He came to me and he said, "Are you happy in your heart?" I said, "Yes, I am." "Do you have peace?" I said, "I am peace." "How can you say that?" And I said, "Sit, let me help you." I sat at his feet on a lower level to show him my humility. I said, "I will show you peace. Put your hand on your heart, because in this state, I know everything and I can do anything." He put his hand on his heart. I said, "Close your eyes. Ask the question, do I have peace?" And I put peace in his heart. And he opened his eyes and he said, "Yes." I said, "Ask me anything else." He asked me another question, which I do not wish to say. "Put your hand on your heart." And I gave it to him. And he looked at me, and instead of gratitude, he said, "You know everything, don't you?" And he said, "You have one last chance." I said, "For what?" "Bow before me." I felt anger arise. I chose not to let it, because that is what he wanted, my anger, for it feeds him. I stayed silent. "You have one last chance." "For what?" I said. I looked him in the eyes, and he knew in that moment who I was, and he knew that, and he knew she's woken up. I cannot trick her anymore. She knows everything. And it wasn't even a remorse. It was like, she knows everything. So the game was over. And at that point he said, "I'll leave if you want me to." And I looked at him and I said, "I want you to leave." And he left. Then the song Ave Maria came on, and I danced, and the stars danced, and all the angels came. "Grazie a te, Ave Maria, grazie, grazie, grazie." I danced and I danced and I danced, and the sky was full of the love of the Sacred Heart. And as a human, it was very difficult the next day to even try to communicate. So I had a day of silence. On May the 19th, I was on the beach. No one was there. And the earth was under my feet, and I stepped into the sea, the placenta, and my head was in, and I took it out. I was in the placenta, the womb, and then I was here in the womb, and then here, and I took steps with my eyes closed, for as the new earth, I knew how to walk. My first few steps, I stumbled because I was still a baby. But then I remembered I have been here before. And I walked with my eyes closed, and I knew the land under my feet. The new earth has the wisdom of the old earth. She is stronger and she remembers everything. The lion still roars in her heart, and she protects. She does not even need to protect because they know she is awake. And even though the new earth is a child, she is born with the memory of everything. Everything. She is beautiful and she knows it. She is wisdom and she knows it. She is abundant and she knows it. Therefore, so do you. It's over. The new earth is born, glory be. It is me and you. You are me. The Mayan calendar was also manipulated by Aphrodite under his charm. 2012 was the day of the new earth. That's what they wanted us to think, but it's 2021. They just switched the numbers around and put Bakal's face in the middle of the Mayan calendar. Look closely, he's a lizard. He is not of light. They don't belong here and they've gone. There is no more power left in them, you see. Their power was only there when they lay in the shadows playing their tricks. They stood in front of us like they were our friends, our spiritual brothers and sisters. They played a game, but they were lying. They took from us to the point where he took my child and made her his bride and turned her against us. What was she to know? For she was never nurtured by her own mother. One must say goodbye to a child sometimes. But she will come back. For in her higher self, in her true self, she knew what to do. But unfortunately, he took away her gratitude. He gave her greed. He put a crown on her head. And a real queen does not need a crown, but she loved her crown. She loved it so much. Anything that shines, she loved it. Make it mine. But that is not a queen. But it's not her fault. But once a frequency is distorted, it cannot come back. It can only come back when it is in complete surrender, when it is in complete truth, to the truth. So that's why I'm making this, because she needs to know the truth. Yes, we're participating in the earth game. It's not a game, it's real. The veil is the fact that we think it's not. And I bought and experienced her frequency. I saw it because I entered without judgment, so I could hear it just once. That's all I needed to bring it back to the earth, which was meant to happen the first time. I'm hoping she will learn and understand, because we can always have hope. But for now, I've relieved her of her duties and taken on the duty myself. Someone, the mother, always has a responsibility to her children. The children of Gaia. We will find our way. The lost sheep eventually find their way. So do not despair for those who you think are lost. They're coming back. For when the frequency of Gaia is in love, nothing can stop that vibration reaching you all. Congratulations. This could not be done without the help of all the other light workers who've been on this mission many lifetimes before me. Thank you, Archangel Michael, Raphael, all the angels I don't even know the names of. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Aphrodite. Thank you, Pakal. The new earth was born because of all the pressure. It's like a rock that was given so much pressure that eventually she became the brightest diamond in the sky. Glory be.